Boxing King Media in association with Boxer Spencer Oliver. We're in Birmingham. Joshua BUATSI makes his return on Sky Sports for Boxer. I said to him earlier, do you think he's under pressure to perform? Because he will have seen all the backlash Okoli got after leaving Matchroom and obviously not doing the performance people expected.
Of course he's under pressure to perform. You know, we're looking at the light heavyweight division right now, not just domestically, but globally. And there's superstars, you know, in that division. People like Dimitri Bivol, you know, and then you look over here, Anthony Yard, that performance he put up against Beterbiev, and, you know, Craig Richards is there, Lyndon Arthur's there. There's a lot of good fighters there. And, you know, he's been inactive now for 12 months. He's lost a little bit of ground, and there is pressure on him to perform and make a statement on Saturday night. He recognises that. He knows the game. And BUATSI, I think, will do that against Stepien, who's a tough guy, comes with an unbeaten record, but stylistically, I think it's perfect for Joshua BUATSI. He'll come forward and BUATSI can showcase his skills, you know, show us what he's been working on. But I'm expecting something big from him. But look, champions feed off pressure, and I think BUATSI is one of those guys. He looks very cool and calm up there with the press conference today, and I'm expecting something big with him on Saturday night. One thing I will say, if he comes through this fight on Saturday night, which I'm expecting against Stepien, I'd love to see him in with someone like Anthony Yard. I think that what we saw with Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis the other week was you don't need titles on the line. You know, we've lost so many big fights in recent times through the politics of broadcasters or, you know, purse bids, etc., that have not materialised because the fighters are not happy with how much they're on. Let's just see the best boxing the best. We need to create legacies, and you only do that when the best box the best. And I'm hoping that, you know, BUATSI, you know, Yard, whilst they're waiting for titles to materialise, we can see them type of fights happening in the future times.
Do you feel like the event's got enough hype around it? Because in the past, people have said, you know, there's not enough hype around the, you know, BUATSI fight nights. Do you feel it's back?
Absolutely. Look, he's got the platform to do that with Sky Sports, and I think that, you know, he's been great all week, Joshua BUATSI, and I think the performance will speak for itself, and that will create a lot of interest. Like I say, Anthony Yard put up a great performance against Artur Beterbiev, you know, was it last month or so? He put up a great performance. It was exciting, and like the light heavyweight division right now is exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, with Lyndon Arthur, Craig Richards, just to name a couple. Don't forget Dan Aziz as well, the European champion. You know, he's in the mix as well. You know, they're the sort of fights that we want to see, and hopefully we get them. The light heavyweight division domestically is brilliant at the moment, and I think that BUATSI on Saturday night will make that statement.
And Ben Whittaker, they touched on him there. Where do we draw the line with his personality and his persona? I spoke to him and obviously I highlighted the fact that he likes to be the pantomime villain, and what he's saying and doing is for show and entertainment. But you know, a lot of fans will take that to heart with what he says.
Yeah. Well, listen, a lot of fans won't like that, you know, and that is a fact. You know, he reminds me of like a Nassim Hamid type of character, do you know what I mean? Where he says what he says and he don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, you either love or hate him. You know, he's going to have his fans, but he's going to have his haters as well. But that's the role that he's chose to do, you know, and let's see how that plays out. Listen, if you talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk. And one thing I can guarantee with Ben Whittaker is he will walk the walk. That kid has got some fucking serious talent, and I think he's going to showcase his skills on Saturday night. And I just want to see him fast-tracked a little bit. I want to see him keeping very regular. Hopefully the injuries stay away and we see him boxing on a regular basis.
Definitely so. And a quick word, we've got the first women's British title fight. I saw a tweet that Steffi Bull put out the other day, and he said he feels that this fight is not getting enough attention and not enough people are speaking about it.
This is a great fight. Kirsty Bavington is a former European champion. You know, she brings it. You know, she's a tough girl, and she will bring the heat on Saturday. You know, she recognises that Lauren Price is one of the most decorated amateurs of all time, but she feels that she's got enough in the tank to win on Saturday in the professional ranks. But Lauren Price has got other ideas, you know, only going into a full fight, creating history, which is a big thing, and the first women's British title fight is a big thing, and both girls want it so much. I'm expecting a huge fight there, and massive performance from both girls. Both girls want it so much.
I just want to quickly talk about a couple of other things, Spencer. I think you spoke about it yesterday, this Tom Hauser article. Have you spoken about it yesterday? Yeah. So, to be honest, I don't read long-winded articles, so that isn't my interest, but I saw people talking about him in recent weeks, saying how he's a respected journalist, etc. But then particular comments, obviously, they got up Eddie's back as well, and I know you hit back as well. So What do you make of it all?
Listen, Tom Hauser is a great journalist. He's a great journalist, but what he was talking about, Anthony Joshua, and he should retire, what a load of bullshit. Like, on what basis do you say he should retire? I think he was going down the grounds of, well, he's earned enough money to secure his family's future, rare. You know, he's been a two-time world champion. Yeah, I go, like he's been an Olympic gold medalist. So what? He's still got more dreams. He still loves the sport. He's passionate about the sport. It's not like he's an over-the-hill fighter that's getting beaten here, there and everywhere. He lost to Alexander Usyk twice. All right, okay, we understand that. And like we saw that, you know, he's lost a bit of ground, maybe lost a little bit of confidence. That was the idea of him going over to America, teaming up with Derek James, you know, trying to reinstall that confidence, trying to find that rawness that he once had, which he needs, by the way, if he's going to go into this four-man tournament. But the performance he put in against Jermaine Franklin was not the performance we was all expecting. It wasn't the performance he needed. What, and on that basis, he has to retire. I was like, what the fuck are you going on about, mate? You got to give the kid a chance. He's only been with Derek James since January. Let's see how he gets on if he boxes again. You know, I think there's talk of him now boxing possibly at the end of July. Dillian White or someone like that. That could be an opponent. And if we see that, then put him in against Deontay Wilder in this four-man tournament. Let's see it. You know, he's at that stage of his career. You can't go around people going, oh, no way, he can't box Deontay Wilder. He'll take him out in a couple of rounds. Well, where else does he go then? Like Anthony Joshua's a two-time world heavyweight champion who's in now the twilight of his career. He's 33 years of age. You've got to give the kid a shot. You go, let him go in there. But I don't want to see him go straight into that fight in December because he's not ready yet, because we didn't see a performance that we needed to see against Franklin. We need to see the next fight. Judge him on his next fight. Let's see how he boxes on his next fight, and we'll take it from there.
Talking of an interim fight, I've got a name to throw into the mix. Hughie Fury. I spoke to him a couple of days ago, and he said that he felt AJ was a big stiff, and he's finished. But he says he loved that fight. I don't know if he'd be ready to take that in June, July. But what do you think? How do you think that could unfold?
Let's get that on, man. Hughie Fury's a great fight. It's a good name, and if that's what Hughie thinks, then that's a great fight to make. Why not? Hughie Fury is a great boxer, you know, and that'll be an interesting fight. And they're the sort of fights that we need to see Anthony Joshua in. Recognisable names that he needs to be in with, you know, names that are big in the sport, and Hughie Fury certainly fills a bill.
And I want to also speak to you about Eddie Hearn did an interview the other day, and he basically talked about, I think with George Groves' podcast, where he talks about how when he came into the game, how Frank Warren, Bob Adams had to run him out the game, you know, with certain tactics, legal letters, all that sort of stuff. And he kind of hinted that, you know, some promoters may not survive. He didn't name anyone, but possibly hinting towards Ben Shalom. Do you think with what the pressure he's probably facing in regards to putting events on and views and fighters and legal letters, all this sort of stuff, has Ben got the minerals to survive this early hurdle?
Yeah, of course he has. You know, listen, every time there's a new promoter that comes on the scene, the other promoters don't want them there, they want them out, you know. And I think Ben Shalom's got a massive platform. And I think that with the shows that he's been putting on, the shows that he's got lined up, you know, up through to the end of June are phenomenal. And I think I've got to say that now because he's standing next to me. But no, what I'm saying is, new promoters, there's no space for new promoters? Of course there is. New promoters bring new ideas, they've got new visions. And I think perhaps other promoters get a little bit worried about that and a little bit scared and a little bit defensive. So on that note, Mr. Shalom, I'll pass over to you because I think I've done my bit. Little pay rise on the go there as well.
Just a quick one, Ben. I asked him about the comments Eddie made on George Groves' podcast about some promoters may not survive. He didn't name you, but some people are suggesting that he was probably talking about you. Do you feel like you've got the minerals to survive that early hurdle pressure and just the business in general?
This isn't an early hurdle. Fucking hell. This is a lot easier. Tell you what, it's a lot easier promoting with a broadcaster than promoting without a broadcaster. I was 23 years old, running around putting small horse shows on. This is an absolute dream in comparison to that. So look, I think when you have to start your own business and you have to do everything to those early years are the hardest years. And as I say, this is a dream. This is way beyond what it takes to start off. And to be honest, I think promoters are going to be forced to work together, and we're going to have to work together, and it's better for the sport. And we've got, I believe, an unbelievable schedule for May and June. And there's other great schedules, and boxing's flying. The way tickets are selling, honestly, this show has sold way beyond what we could have thought. May 27th has sold over 15,000 tickets now for the Bournemouth Stadium. June the 10th sold out straight away. Adam Azim, York Hall, what we expected. And then June 17th is sold better than the first one. which is incredible. Over 75% of tickets went in 48 hours. So boxing's flying. Let's keep it flying. Promoters can come talk, work together, and make sure, hopefully, we avoid clashes and we can make the best fights.
He specifically said that Bob Arum and Frank Warren tried to run him out of the game. Have you experienced anything like that so far?
Look, all promoters, all promoters. Look, I don't want to say exactly what goes on, but of course it's hard. But I promise you, it's a lot harder when you're starting from ground zero. And as I say, I'd say it's a lot harder. And I don't think there's different experiences, and that's a lot harder experience than, as I say, being. I had to work many years to get to this point. It wasn't just right. Here we go. First show is a TV show or whatever. That was tough, and I promise you it was. And I'm just over the moon to be in this position, and I want to work with other promoters, and I'm trying to avoid the back and forth. It's what I promised we wouldn't get involved in. It's what I promised that we're trying to avoid, and we are, and we want good relationships, and everyone's just trying to do their best, and if we can work together, the sport will improve.
Ben, I'll let you go because I think I've nicked you from somebody else. Thank you for that. Just to wrap up on yourself, Spencer, what you said about Ben, you definitely didn't say it because you work with Boxer, because that's what everyone's going to be assuming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, it's healthy for the sport when new promoters come in, but when new promoters come in, obviously old promoters get a little bit uncomfortable with that, and yeah, they prefer it. They've got control of things themselves. Look, I just think it's healthy for the sport, it's healthy for the fans. And of course, yeah, people are going to say, yeah, you're saying that because you're working for a boxer. Well, what am I meant to say?
That's what everyone watching this video is going to be thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So what am I meant to say? But what I can say is, and when I'm speaking from the heart, is
brutal honesty, Spence.
Listen, I give you brutal honesty, man. You know that. I fucking give you brutal honesty over the Conor Ben shit and everything else surrounding it. What I will say is, you can't deny that Boxer as a brand is growing. They've taken it over to Europe. You know, they've done Paris. You know, they've done Poland. They're looking to expand. They're looking to try new things, and I think that is healthy for the sport. They've got a great vision, you know, and they're trying different things. They're doing different things. You can't knock that, right? So surely you can't judge me on that. Come on, give us a break. What's going on here, mate?
Well, that's your break, Spencer. I appreciate your time, man. That's spot on. Thank you for it, brother.
Yeah, thank you.